So I wanted to do a little YouTube video of a new GIS source that I recently became aware of that's published by the Corps of Engineers called the National Structure Inventory. And here is the URL. I'll probably put that in the link. But it's well documented. I really like the looks of the page. It has the reference guide, but it also has technical documentation that gives you a great overview. I mean, I've used this um, a similar data set for a long time in the agency, so uh, it's really nice to have. There's two layers of access to it too, um, but definitely worth reading about. And the big thing too about the data, and even um, the data sources that are free, it just has a lot of good information in it. So I was anxious to use it. And in addition to the technical documentation, it has an API reference here that I went through because I wanted to test out the API with QGIS. So that's what I did, and here are the results. And they're really pretty nice. And I'll show you how it is attached and using the API in QGIS. You use the add layer, vector layer. You use it defaults to the vector here, and then you have to choose the internet protocol basically. But you have to change that to GeoJSON. So here's my notes. So some of the first tests I did were their bounding box and structure, or I'm sorry, their county, because I think that's the ones I would be interested in. And they work. They worked great. Um, this is them right down here. This is the bounding box. That example was actually in Florida. And then this is the structure, or I keep calling it structure. This is the county example, or the FIPS code for the county, 1515005, and that's in Hawaii. So then I wanted to try download some data in my area. So I stuck the FIPS code in there, and sure enough, came right down. No problem with changing the FIPS code. And that's this right here. This is the FIPS code that I used in this test. It takes a little while. You probably don't want to work with this, streaming it. You probably want to download it, to your local machine to run analysis on it. But it's like, yeah, that's really great. So then I did what I wanted to do, and I actually wanted to do a bounding box for a larger area. I wanted to see if I could do a bounding box for this two counties, because I might want two counties. Well, unfortunately, it didn't work. So, but what I did notice was if I used a similar size uh, area in West Virginia, it worked. But I haven't determined how big an area is the limit. So it looks like there's a limitation on the bounding box size, and it's not as big as a county. So the example I used in this Florida example that actually worked is only about 2 square miles. So great product. Um, Definitely recommend using the county FIPS as your method of download and using this data. I have not done that yet. Let's bring up the um, attribute table, and I'll show you the data that's in it. So it has the occupation types, very similar that was in HEC-RAS, building types, and as I showed previously, the metadata for these fields is documented and it's on the website. But it has population values, so you can do some unique population calculations based on these structures. And it has values, estimated values. So there's very, very helpful national level data set. Now, I don't think this is going to get rid of more detailed data like that could be available with the states, but definitely worth taking a look at. That's all I have. Have a good evening.